Welcome to our masterclass today. My name is Charlie Sutong Zhang. I am the president of CGHI, the Coalition for Global Health Innovation. CGHI is a completely youth-led nonprofit, and we have over 100 young professionals and students as our community members. And we are operating from all over the world, from our homes, and we have our community call where we meet every week to talk about global health topics. And our mission is to empower young professionals and provide a safe space for young professionals in global health to connect and to educate each other. And we want to make global health accessible and healthcare accessible for everyone, to make it inclusive. So we often host master classes like this one, free of charge, open to everyone. We invite experts in global health, such as our today's expert, which I will introduce later. And we also write articles and blogs with our young professionals from over 40 countries across 6 continents. And we also provide mentorship and peer mentorship, and we also work closely with multi-pod mentoring, where they have many very senior professionals who are so happy to help. So Dr. Ronald is also one of the mentors from multi-pod. Okay, so I will start to introduce Dr. Mora. One second. So Dr. Ronald Mora Castillo is a veterinary epidemiologist with extensive expertise in laboratory systems, disease surveillance, and international animal health. He currently serves at the World Organization for Animal Health in Paris, where his work focuses on strengthening laboratory capacity, advancing disease control strategies, and supporting the development of international standards in animal health. His career spans from early work in regional veterinary laboratory in Costa Rica to leading diagnostics at the National Reference Laboratory and serving as a senior epidemiologist, informing national level decision making. These experiences have shaped his perspective on how social and economic contexts influence health outcomes and systems performance. Dr. Mora Castillo is deeply committed to mentorship and capacity building, with a focus on supporting the next generation of professionals in animal and global health. His work is grounded in the conviction that strong animal health systems are essential to advancing global health security, equity, and resilience. Along his scientific career, he's also a guitarist and composer, exploring progressive and ambient music as a form of creative expression. So before we start, I want to invite everyone to use the chat to introduce themselves, your name, where you're from, where you're based, what you're doing now, either you're studying or you're working. And also feel free to already ask your questions in the chat. We'll be monitoring the chat. And Dr. Ronald will be speaking for roughly 25-30 minutes, and then we'll open the floor for questions and for discussion. Without further ado, Dr. Ronald, over to you. Thank you.
Hello, Charlie. Hello, colleagues. Thank you for this opportunity. I really appreciate the invitation. And I'm really glad to join you guys in this very interesting experience. Frankly, the name Masterclass is I kind of fancy that name from just a simple way of an informal exchange in my case to share with you and the people who join us and who eventually will see the broadcast later on a bit of my experience on professional and personal experience, and well, just the fact that I come here to share a bit of my life with you has a lot of value for me. But I have to say that I'm no different than any of you. So all of your stories should also be told, and I believe in the power of sharing stories, sharing who we are with others. I think that's very powerful. We all have things to learn from other people, and I think that's what enriches diversity and make us more aware of our surroundings. Well, that said, well, as Sean introduced me, well, very kindly, um, I come from Costa Rica. So Costa Rica is a very small country, which I'm about to introduce. So this introductory picture, I don't have a lot of slides, and I'm not here to teach you anything. Again, this is just a way to share a bit of my background and my experience, perhaps some lessons I've learned in this 20 years of experience in this in this complex world of global health. So in this image, you can see there's a transition between my country, my home country, Costa Rica, which is a very beautiful place, in Paris. So how did I get here, and what am I doing here? I think these are two questions that I'll probably explore in the next few minutes. And well, that said, I, I I want to begin with a question. And I think this very basic question can be answered in many different ways. I guess people can tell you, well, there's been books written on this topic. We have a lot of experts speaking about animal health recently and how this impacts in the big scheme of things, global health. What is what animal health bringing to the table recently is really critical. I believe that animal health not only affects human health, as we all know it, and basically the emerging threats mostly come from animals. We know that. We know the statistics of 60% of human threats come from animals. Now that we have more formal studies, for instance, on COVID-19, we know SARS-CoV-2 came from particular mutations from bad viruses, and we know how rich that is and how complex the interactions can be between animals and their environments, which actually leads to more questions. How can we deal with this? I guess this is the main question. And by building strong animal systems, I think we can try to stay one step ahead from the next pandemic, which is most likely waiting for us sometime. So basically, I would say, and we may all have answers for these questions, for this particular question in particular. But I guess from my take, I believe animal health is essential. It's critical for global health security, and we need to, from each one of us, from our fields of work, provide some insights and support this particular work. I'm hearing some echo, so perhaps someone has their mic open, but I think it's perfect now. Thank you. So just to move on, again, I mentioned Costa Rica. This is where I come from. I'm going to introduce myself, and for the next few minutes, speak of where I come from and how did I get here. So Costa Rica is a very small country. It's in this very narrow strip of land in the Americas. We have North and South Americas. Most people know this. Very few people know that there's this strip of land called Central America, and Costa Rica sits in the middle of this region. The region itself is small, a handful of countries, and our country in particular is very special. We have around 5 million people. Our GDP is fairly modest, but in the region, we have the leading voice in terms of the GDP, along with Panama. Just reminding everyone, Panama has a canal, so a big input source of money. And we have San Jose as our capital, and our main exports are medical instruments. So we have a huge sector of exports in medical technology and also agriculture. Of course, Costa Rica is also well known for its nature, and I think we have all, maybe some of you have heard of Costa Rica from that perspective. So the environmental friendly culture we have, and mostly this friendly society with nature we have developed over time. We also have some vibrant cities which are not as big as to be called cities, but we have centers of populations that are of economic importance. And this is what we know in Costa Rica. Well, Costa Rica also has challenges, and we share some of these challenges with the rest of the region. So of course we have economic challenges, as we all have. We have social challenges, and equality is one of them. And of course, poverty is still present, as it is present in the rest of the world, especially in the developing world. So I'm really proud to say that I come from a poverty setting. So I come from a family who grew up in a slum in Costa Rica. So I found this picture somewhere some time ago when a journalist wrote an article of my background, and it's very interesting because I remember when I was a kid, it looked more beautiful. So I remember it with the eyes of a kid, but it was poverty in all its glory. And this is a Costa Rica of the beginning of the 80s. So this is a few decades ago. And I'm happy and proud to say that we moved away from that reality. Costa Rica has grown, and many people have gotten chances to succeed, and doors open for those who are there to make the best out of them and move on. So I'm a living example of this. I come from this setting, and I moved little by little in my career. My mom, who migrated to the city from the countryside, had to struggle a lot to finally found an opportunity for me and my brothers. So we had the exceptional chance to study in a private school where we learned English since a very young age, and we were exposed to good education levels. So that's what actually helped me move forward. So I guess that's the first lesson I can share with you. There's no success, the real success that goes beyond education. So any opportunity you have to educate yourself and to help others move on in their educational background is an opportunity that's really plants a seed and actually ensures that the future will be brighter for the person involved. Again, I'm a living example. I moved forward and Bob, I graduated from high school, again, with a background, very solid educational level, which made me luckily land a job with veterinary services. So we have, it's called SENASA, it's the National Veterinary Authority. And so I began in a very small lab, very close to the beach. So it was really cool to work close to the beach. And I had the chance to work with, to open a lab. So I really didn't have a lot of experience, but I had a lot of challenges, which I learned to face little by little, and I never faced alone. And I guess this is another lesson I could share from my background, and it's, I guess, all of us, we have different backgrounds. We come from different settings, different countries, but I think all of us are where we are thanks to other people, even our parents, even other people who have pushed us to move forward. And I encourage you to seek around you people, mindful people you could communicate with often, and create a community that could help you improve personally and professionally, and then move on. I guess this is the best way to move forward. So in this lab, I learned so many things. I learned that lab work sits at the core of surveillance, of course, and that investments in labs are expensive, and sometimes you don't see them right away. In fact, in global health, improvements, they don't come easy, they don't come cheap or fast, which is why it's hard to negotiate funding because you don't get to see the results immediately. Sometimes it takes too long for donors to be interested in a given project, but this is the reality. We have to move uphill against the current, and sometimes it's hard to land the need and express present projects that could be portrayed as meaningful with meaningful outputs despite the challenges. So basically, again, being resilient, consistency is also the key. In this, then I move on, and I was asked to move to the headquarters of the veterinary services, where I joined, where I led actually the team of people working in the National Reference Lab, working diagnostics. I did some field work too, which was very interesting, like more of a hands-on vet work. And this is where I learned a lot about management and mainly getting to work with people. In my previous job, I used to work with 2 or 3 people. Now I used to manage, and in this new job, I manage a team of 30 plus professionals, which is very challenging because I found that beyond the technical barriers, actually it's people who you need to know. So we all have, if you had the chance to have some technical training, that's kind of covered. Yes, you evolved technically along the way, but actually something that you will never be trained on and that you really need to develop and even master is how to deal with people. I think when you deal with people the right way, when you sit with someone and try to hear what they have to say, when you try to exchange personal experiences with this person, you connect with them at a different level. And in a work setting, that can take you really long ways, because that allows people to open themselves to just to share their personal experiences and connect at a very different level. And I believe in the power of people, and I'm saying this in a very clear way. Connecting with people make you a people person, and being a people person really helps you move forward in your career. So this is a very simple advice. Get to know the people you're working with, and get to know them well. Be honest, be sincere, and if this actually becomes easy to you, connecting with people will take you far. I guess in my experience with the veterinary services, I faced a lot of challenges. Not everything was easy, I have to say. Working in a government agency has other challenges, and but also many opportunities. You get to work with other people. You get to represent your country in many different ways, and it in a way, I think that was an eye opener for me. That was an experience that helped me understand the impact you can have in the lives of other people, and how you can provide some of your experience in a very straightforward way. I guess this is where you can actually develop your professional skills. And again, if you manage to grow that hand in hand with your personal skills, that really will make of you a very competitive profession. And I think being a people person, that kind of makes me also realize that there's a lot of challenges. And when I moved to France, so I was interested in the OIE. We called it OIE back then. Now it's known as WOA. I set myself a personal challenge. I said, you know what, I could do this. I can work for this organization. Seems a little bit far and hard because it was kind of competitive, but I actually set a goal, and I guess this is another very powerful lesson I could share with you. I believe we all have dreams. We all have, you know, we want things to happen, but I remember speaking to a very good friend back in Costa Rica, and she was telling me like, "Well, I see you achieve things. How do you do this?" Like, well, you kind of have to work to get them done. Um, Dreaming is okay, and when I hear like dreams will take you far, actually, it's the actions will take you far. If you identify what your goal is, you have to plan a very clear strategy to get there. And it's possible. Everything is possible if you set yourself a goal and plan. And to do this, let me tell you, I know some, depending on the goal you have, it can be very complex and it can be hard. It can take years to get there. But if you try to do it alone, think of the experience you have. How experienced are you? do you really trust in your own experience? Like that can get you there? Well, maybe it could, but you will benefit from the experience from other people. So I was wondering, well, what if I contact people who's done it before? I mean, I have nothing to lose. So I begin contacting people, and especially people from my country who have done it before, and who have a very different setting, very different background, but still, it was a more representative sample. So I contacted these people, and one of them was kind enough to share with me some insights. And this changed everything because he said, you know what, working for international organizations is possible. Like you can do it. I see your background. You have some training. It's interesting. You can do it. Anyone can do it. The thing is, you have to plan for it, and you have to plan to develop some skills. You need to be good at what you do. You need to show that you have the attitude. You need to show that you have portfolio projects. You need to have something to show off. You need to work really hard to develop some other skills too. But and you need to get there. People need to see you. Need to see who you are. Your name on a paper probably means nothing for someone in some other place in the world. But if you get there and you introduce yourself, that would be more meaningful. So this and many other advice I got from him, and that was very powerful, very revealing. I said, well, you know what? Clearly, I don't have what it takes to get there yet, but I can plan for it. So I traced myself this way, you know, and it's this path, and I began to stick to my goals. So little by little, I accomplished these goals, and I was very proud and very happy when each of them were fulfilled. So I remember I applied to work for Mora in 2017. So that didn't work, but I reached a very interesting position in the final three people who were proposed to the DG to choose. So I already had an interesting profile. People kind of knew who I was. And then I tried one more time, but this second time I was prepared, and I had kind of ticked all of the boxes, and it finally worked. I have to say the second process was very smooth, and I was hired, and then I moved in, and it was great. I have to say it was a great experience moving from a small country like mine to a big city like Paris. It's a shocking experience in many different ways, but it's an amazing experience. I always explain to people when, especially people I mentor, that everything is possible. Again, if you trace yourself, if you set a clear objective, and if you correctly identify the steps you need to succeed on, it's totally possible and doable. But it's very unlikely that you can do this on your own, which is why cooperation is very important. When you speak of One Health, I kind of like the One Health activities and scheme of things, but the name sometimes sits in a place where I have a hard time relating with. Like I can easily relate with the things that have happened in global health, and One Health is just a term for things we've been doing for years, and it's a call. I think One Health is a call to collaborate with other people. Now, of course, if you're a vet and you speak only with vets, if your friends are vets, family is vet, you stick in the vet world, you will always think as a vet, which is good for some things. But if you want to go beyond, if you want to really bring some value to the scheme of things, I think you really need to speak to other people. You need to get out of your comfort zone and try to go and look for other people, reach other people. I think identifying the key issues that you face in your country, in your region, in your community, that really helps a lot. And getting in touch with the people who are dealing with these issues is very powerful. I will later give an example of what I'm saying to illustrate best this example. And I think one of the main challenges I faced in my career is being blocked by the system. by the system. There's many ways to outsmart the system. There are challenges everywhere. But again, one of the most powerful lessons that have helped me move on is actually getting to know who to get in touch with at the right time. There's always someone who knows a way to get out of from where you're stuck at. I think moving forward is also very powerful. When you push a wall, it's better to do it with somebody else. I think if I would have to provide to share just one very robust and strong lesson to you is look out for people. We as humans we work better in teams, but getting to know people, getting to share with people, and getting to know who to contact at the right time can really help you move forward in all different ways. So this I know this is a challenge for people who are not socially outgoing, and I think sometimes when I was speaking about this, one of my mentees asked me once, "Well, that's easy for you because you seem to be very outgoing, like you have this personality, you can easily, blend in with people." But I'm a little bit shy, I'm he said socially averted. I would say he was just a little bit shy. Um, you can still do it because I think these people actually create more meaningful relationships than people who are more enthusiastic about public speaking, for example. So if you're shy, identify key people you can work with, and then go all the way in. I think again, if we stick to this idea of bringing people together and working together, I think that can make a big difference. And I think this brings me to probably one of my last key messages is actually giving back. I think we have all received from other people again. But we all have friends. We all have people who we cherish, people who are always there for us. We also have work colleagues who are respectful, and perhaps we don't share like very deep relationships, but still a very respectful relationship. I think we always have to think that we can give back in many different ways. I found that mentorship was a very good way for me because I like sharing with people. I like sharing not only my experience, like all of myself, the expression of who I am. I think Charlie mentioned earlier that I'm an artist, so I'm a guitar player. I write music and I make music, and again, it's just a way to express myself, and I like sharing that with people too. Um, but you can find your own way. You can find your own way how to give back to your community, to someone. One of the most powerful lessons I've learned here in France is that they have a lot of a big focus on giving back. So they have all of this system of associations. So like foundations, people you can be part of, and then you give back some of your time. You help, helping people in need in many different ways. So like I'm a musician, so for me it's easy to easy and something I like. So I go to homes of the elderly to play guitar with a group of volunteers, and we play for people who are sick and old, the music they used to like when they were younger, and just by looking the way they smile and sing, sometimes really touches me. And I think we all have something to share. As far as you can speak, if you can share with other people, you have something to share, and just go find something that gives you this that drives this passion in you, and try to find someone who would be interested in having it too. So giving back, I think, is very powerful. As far as personal growth, I believe in the power of giving more than receiving, and the more you give, will definitely enrich your personal skills for sure. So just to finish this part, I believe we have to look into the future. That's why I respect initiatives such as the coalition so much, and there's many others, people, especially young people, moving forward. I really respect that. So a few final messages for you to retain. Again, don't underestimate the power that you have, like what you can bring to the table in the grand scheme of things. You are a key player of the future of global health. And if you identify and correctly identify the projects you can work on, you can be a key element to those projects. They don't have to be very, very ambitious global projects. Look at your community, and you will find somewhere someone who will need your help. And if you can provide help in many different ways, I guess this will give you also the chance to get yourself known in the community, and then move forward. I think identifying the need is key. Aligning your skills with this need will take you far. Just to close this short time with you, I would like to ask a question, and I wish for this question I'm really waiting for an answer from at least one of you. I guess all these reflections come from the fact of identifying the need. Again, I insist, and moving forward, basically trying to think how you can fit in, what can you bring to the solution of these issues. Some issues can be very complex, some can be very simple, and maybe people have solved them already. Maybe they're in progress. Their solution is in progress. Maybe this problem is very complex that you have to split it in many different components to try to find key answers for each of them. But we all, I think I invite you to reflect in a profound way on this. And I think the question here is, have you identified what is the main issue in your community locally where you could potentially, bring some value? And I think, again, we all have something. Maybe right now in a few seconds you don't have enough time to think, but maybe you have identified something that you think needs to be fixed, and for which you may have a role to play. So thank you for this time, Charlie. Thank you to the coalition members and organizers of this event. I feel very grateful to have had this time with you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ronald. Thank you everyone for joining us. So we will open the floor. And for now, if you are shy, feel free to text in the chat box where you're from, what you're doing, your questions for Dr. Mora. So Dr. Mora left us with a question. What do you identify in your community that you want to contribute to improving? So first, maybe I can start with sharing some of my reflections from Dr. Mora's talk, and then I will also invite Pratik, because he's from CGHI and he's also a very aspiring young professional in One Health. So first, I think I'm really, really grateful for Dr. Mora's time. I can feel your energy, and I think, we've been saying that, One Health and planetary health is not something that's just trendy now. But I hope that we, as humans living on this earth, we have the empathy and compassion and love for everything around us, not just people around us, not just our families, but our friends and people in our community, outside of our community, and also the animals, also the environment. And I think that's also why we've been volunteering with CGHI, right? We started CGHI, we've been volunteering for all these years since 2019. And it just gives us so much sense of purpose because we are from across 6 continents, and some of us, we've never met each other, and we've been working closely for many years. And it's just so beautiful that we care so deeply about the world, and we share the knowledge that we have, and to really build the bridge so that, when we grow older, when we do become world leaders, we can make better policies. Yeah, so I love that, Dr. Mora also emphasized on giving back to your community, giving back to the people around you, and be a mentor. I also became a mentor. I'm very young, but I also became a mentor. Everyone can be a mentor. Everyone can be. It's so beautiful to share your life, to share your knowledge, and hold space for other people, and to be able to help in whatever way we can. Anyway, so I will invite Pratik if you are ready to share some comments and ideas, and if you have questions for Dr. Mora, and also Dr. Mora's question, what do you identify in your community that you want to contribute to improving? So over to you, Pratik.
Yeah, thank you very much, Hardy. Yeah, thank you, Dr. Mora, for your insightful presentation and talk. It's always great, and it's always nice to hear you. And actually, Dr. Mora is my mentor from Multipod Mentoring, and I had like wonderful chance to meet him physically at OHA. So he has been really a very nice person and very inspiring person to me. And regarding to the question Dr. Mora asked, I would like to answer because I also come from Nepal, which is a developing country, and I did my master's here in Europe, and I feel like there is this gap in between the health sector and in between like many aspects regarding the global south and global north that I'm recently in. So I would like to contribute taking some knowledge from here. I would like to contribute back to my society in Nepal. So that would be my dream. That would be my life goal that I would like to contribute. So yeah, that's my answer, Charlie. And Dr. Mora, I have a question regarding I've also saw some many things, heard many things regarding the One Health development in Costa Rica. Like it is one of the pioneer. Like there has been news regarding the application of One Health in Costa Rica. So could you please share what are the things that are happening in Costa Rica? Because I think I know Costa Rica is diverse in wildlife, and there are a lot of good things happening in Costa Rica. Thank you.
Sure. So, well, thank you for your words. What I have to say is Costa Rica is a very, very diverse country in terms of environmental diversity. So biodiversity is very extensive. We have, I think, 4% of the biodiversity of the world in a very small region. It's a national park. I believe Costa Rica has developed this reputation of being very environmental friendly. We're moving to be from carbon neutral to carbon positive, in I hope in the next 3 decades. So there's a lot of efforts going on in general terms for the environment, to preserve the environment. In terms of wildlife, is a very diverse country too. So we have it's a tropical country, so we have a lot of national parks and protected areas. Close to 40% of the territory is protected by law. So no developments can be constructions or any sort of human activity can be carried out in these places, which actually ensures that there's some area for animals to thrive and to keep interacting with the environment, which I think it sits at the core of biodiversity and to preserve that biodiversity. So I think we are called to move forward with this concept, to protect the fact that we still have this rich biodiversity around us, and I think it's challenging too, because how do you make it so that you can evolve, like, progress, and at the same time, support biodiversity and try to keep, your environment clean. And so I understand it's a very delicate, it's a very thin line between progress and preservation, animal preservation and environment. You need to progress. You need to build some, especially in my country where the roads and the highways are not very developed. So our transportation system is collapsed. Our middle class has grown. So many people have even more than one car sometimes. And of course, the roads, they can easily collapse. So the question is, do we need more roads? We might need to use more. We cannot build metro systems, for instance, because it's not only very, very expensive, but we have a lot of on water resources and these water bodies that sit underneath the cities. We cannot just drill and create these huge systems like you see elsewhere. So there's a lot of challenges, and I'm not saying it's easy, but it's very fragile, this balance between progress and the protection of the environment. Costa Rica has succeeded. I think it's also thanks to the fact that we're a kind of small country, and I understand sometimes you need to sacrifice some things to bring value. And I think we need to also be open to this, to explore some of these ideas. While we need to protect, we should also be open to other options, to explore a reasonable, to give out reasonably some other options that could imply progress for people, trying to keep as much as we can balance with nature.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mora.
Thank you, Dr. Mora and Pratik. I was wondering if Katerina would like to share some reflections. Katerina, are you ready? Or shall we?
Yes, definitely. Thank you so
great.
much, Charlie. Dr. Mora, I would just like to say thank you so much for your presentation. As always, what rings so true to me is your philosophy of giving back to your community. I know for me, which I've shared with you before, I would not be where I am if it were not for the people in my life. And what's been so important to me was, yes, the power of education. If it were not for the tutors and professors that I had encountered in my life, I don't think I would have thrived the way I did within my university experience and in my postgraduate experiences. So for me, I've always tried to, personally, something that I believe that I can give back on is my position as a tutor. So that's what I have done in my past, trying to help especially first-year students in universities who come from all kinds of diverse backgrounds in education in South Africa, to just give them that leg up to know how to coordinate themselves in a university experience with their tertiary level education. But something that also really stood out to me was when you mentioned the system blocks that you encountered, and I was wondering if you would be willing to elaborate further on that. What were your experiences of the system blocks that you encountered? Thank you.
Well, thank you, Katrina. I appreciate your words. Look, the system. It's true that system could mean many things, but what I mean is that there will always be something that will block you from moving ahead. While what I pictured is a very ideal context. Like you have this goal, you want to work towards this goal, and you identify. Let's say you correctly identify the steps you need to succeed on to get there. So you work hard, you move forward, and then if everything goes well, that's it. It happens, but you will be blocked at some point. At some point, you'll be blocked by the system. By like, let's say you apply for a scholarship, but you don't get it. Let's say you don't get accepted in the university you want. Let's say you've been trying to get into this program and you don't get selected. Like, it just doesn't happen. and frustration can kick in very easily. We're humans, we're very sensitive, and we have feelings, and we sometimes we feel it's something against us, like this whole system has something against us. One of the most powerful ways you can deliver is by detaching yourself from your the ways you feel about something, and try to impose the ways you think about this. And again, there's always ways, there's always people who have succeeded. And I think the more natural question would be, how did these people succeed? Like, okay, I tried, it didn't work. Did I do something wrong? Maybe I did. Maybe I missed a step or something. So again, I think it all comes back to the people, like if you get in touch, many people, like literally hundreds of people have gotten in touch with me in many different ways. And I've never let anyone without an answer, whether if it's a short answer on LinkedIn, or just trying to refer them to somebody else who knows more about it. But you may not succeed the first time, and I think persistence is important, very important. The ways you could get blocked in all through the way are very complex, and sometimes you really need to keep trying and try to find the right person who has done it before you. And if you're the first person doing something, like, I don't know, you came up with some startup idea and you're struggling, there will always be somebody who has done something similar, who's been able to move forward. And from all of these people, from every 10 you contact, one person will be willing to help you move forward. And this is the person you need to talk to. Again, it's all about people. And every time you get blocked to reach your goals, I'm sure you understand very well the power of getting to know people, getting to connect with people in many different ways. And these people are always up for a few minutes of exchange, giving some advice, provide some insights, leading you somewhere from referring to somebody else. So the system could this blocks, you can find them in many different ways. But every time something prevents you from moving forward and reaching your goal, this is what it meant, when the system blocks you from doing something. And again, I think it's through people that you can actually get there and move forward. Your persistence will count as well, but keeping a positive attitude, and again, detaching the way you feel about it more, and imposing the way the ways you think, you can get there. I think will get you somewhere.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mora. I think everything you said rings very true for my experiences in South Africa, as well as the experiences that I've witnessed alongside my colleagues and my students. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Katerina, for the question, and Dr. Mora. And I see we have two questions. One is from Simba and one is from Tanya. So I would like to invite Tanya first, if she's ready, and then we will invite Simba. Tanya, are you ready?
Yes.
Great.
Okay. Nice to meet you, Dr. Ronald, Dr. Mora. My name is Tanya. I'm from Lima, Peru, also from Latin America. Currently, I'm based in Peru, but I tend to move regularly to Chile, where I did my PhD, to continue with projects that I have there. I use antimicrobial resistance to perform disease surveillance in wildlife and the environment. And someday I attend this masterclass because I would like to work for FAO or WA someday. So right now I'm working in an African consulting firm, gaining more experience as a knowledge management officer and learning about health systems and how they are connected with AMR. And I'm very excited about it. But in my community, I'm working right now with sea turtles. I like marine fauna, and I've also worked with seabirds. And I have encountered some doubts that hearing or listening your masterclass just came again into my mind, and I would like to know, how would you connect academia and scientific knowledge for applied implementation science for these communities and for wildlife? Because right now I see a lot of opportunities, but for humans. But how about them? Thank you.
Well, thank you, Tanya, for your comment, and I'm really glad to see someone from Latin America participating in this activity and being so active. Look, there's no magic rule. Like there's no magic solution. But one of the things you could try is getting in touch. Like you say, there's some stuff going on from the human side. Just get in touch with them. Try to identify some projects they're working on that could align with your expertise, with your line of work. In Latin America, sectors are very strong. Recently, I think for the very first time in recent history, the human side of the health systems heard and actually felt the presence of the veterinary world. Throughout the COVID crisis, there was a lot of news going on from vets supporting, for instance, in the labs and in many different ways. I think that you could try just knocking on the doors, just getting there and getting to introduce yourself, trying to align with what they're doing, and try to, again, identify areas that could align with your expertise and what you could bring in. This is not an easy job. If you need to put together something to try to find this alignment, you could also try to find help from someone. There's all these mentorship programs that could actually help you. But Multipod is one of them, and I'm sure there's other. I'm sure there's other programs that could probably where you could find someone who could probably help you move forward in this idea you have. I think it's a great choice. AMR opens the door for a lot of opportunities now. Working for international organizations in this areas, I think it's a challenge. There's I have to be honest with you, there's a lot of people wanting to get to these positions. I believe the people who have the strongest profiles, again, are people who have achieved things, like especially locally, who know their environment, and consultant work is also available. So I think you need to keep scanning all these options, but just focus on your work. Keep working really hard. Try to make your experience grow, especially from the local perspective. And again, try to connect with the human sector where you could find potentially some areas where you could provide some insights. I'm sure you will find something where your competencies will be aligned, where you could bring something to the table. It's something that could work for you, I think.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tanya, for your question. Simba, are you ready to ask your question? Feel free to turn on your camera.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Castillo. Very inspiring presentation. My name is Simba. I'm actually in the medical devices field. So quite interesting that Costa Rica is a world leader, and particularly in the medical equipment side. So my question would be, I know you had mentioned that it was a massive change for you moving from Costa Rica to France, to Paris, to a big city like Paris. So how did you navigate that change? What challenges did you find making that move? And how did you navigate a different culture, different language, and the different people you met there? Thank you.
Well, thank you, Simba, for your question. And I can also see your big smile and your energy. I feel it. Thank you for the question. Look, moving from where you come from to any other place is a challenge. Moving to a place where the culture is so different, and language and such a big city like Paris, and with complex things. things are very complex to getting settled in a big city is really a challenge. It's almost been almost 9 years here in Paris, so I kind of found my way after a long time. Speaking French is hard. I like languages, so that was a challenge for me too. I really wanted to do this, so I actually invested a lot of time trying to improve my French skills. I think one of the best ways that I managed to do this, to make it work, is actually by learning their language, you know. And I think I could. This is kind of a picture too, you know. Learn the language of people, not necessarily the language itself, but the ways people do things. In my case, when I learned French, that actually made me connect with the French at a different level, and actually made, of course, it made me more knowledgeable. I could take better decisions because I could understand what was going on. I could instruct myself. I could explore other places, other sources. And well, French is a very isolated culture, so people are more of everyone their own. This is how the French are, but I've managed to connect with some French, but mainly thanks to the fact that I actually speak their language, and speak almost in their language, like in their local language. And I think this is the best way. I suggest you connect with people again by learning their language, by learning the ways they do things. And it can be a challenge, but it can also be kind of fun. Like if you work really hard, I'm sure you can get there, and that will really open a lot of doors for you.
Thank you, Dr. Castillo.
So we have one more question from Abdullah Sultan. Are you ready? Do you want to turn on your camera?
Yes, I will. Hello, guys. Hello, Mr. Mora. So my name is Abdullah. I'm from Egypt, and I'm a medical student. I know I'm a little bit young for this, but I'm open to, new information, new experience. I'm just 18, by the way. So the question is, if I see a problem in my community or my surrounding, how to reach out to people. I mean, if I see a certain problem, should I be well known, or should I be the best in my field, or what should I do? I mean, there is lack of awareness about how to treat animals, how to, treat them by treatments, medicals. So yeah, that's the question: how to reach out to the biggest amount of people around me and make them, convinced about my ideas or my scene. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Abdullah. Frankly, this is a great question. It's a great question. It's a challenge, and I have to say that culture prevails. So each culture has its own ways to reach people. So I know. Well, I've been in Egypt twice, and I have very good friends down there. And I know Egypt. Well, the Arab cultures are very different from the Western cultures, and there's.
I think with Dr. Mora's it froze.
It's
Let's
frozen on
turn
my
off.
side as well, Charlie.
Okay, yeah. Dr.
Okay.
Mora, we lost you for a second.
I'm back.
Now you're back.
Yeah.
Can you repeat?
I'm
Yes,
sorry
thank
about
you.
that. I have no idea what happened, but anyways, so I was telling Abdullah that first you need to know that the local culture. So as you know, ways to reach people in their own language, in their own ways. I think this is the first thing you really need to master. I think the rest. I think he has a point. Like, let's say I'm very young. I'm not an expert. Like I'm building career, but I'm not there yet. Well, again, you need to propose something that could be meaningful to people. You identify an issue, but you have to be very specific, very precise. Like you cannot say, well, I want to solve all of these issues. You need to be very specific. This is the issue. You have this goal. that you want to work on, and then you find other people.
Yeah, Dr. Mora froze again, so maybe we can turn off our camera. Maybe that helps. And let's just wait 1 more minute. I'm sure his internet will come back. Okay, so I can maybe also share my 2 cents on this topic. So I'll say join CGHI, and we want to help young people to amplify their voices and advocate. Dr. Mora, you're back. So can you please repeat what you were going to say? Thank you.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm going to be more succinct. I don't know what these technical issues are happening. Sorry about that. So basically, understand your context, know the way people communicate, keep building a strong profile, technical profile, while you connect with other mindful people who will actually share your main interest, and then propose something that you can actually identify in a very specific way, so building this community around you to reach the goal you like, the solution you want to propose. I think it's easier to say than doing, I know, but if you work really hard and if you follow the steps and you connect with the right people, I'm sure you're going to do it. And yes, don't underestimate the things you can bring in. You're young, but I see you have a lot of energy, blah, blah, and I'm happy to see you moving forward. The fact that you're here sharing with these mindful people, that speaks a lot from you.
Thank you, Dr. Mora. It was a very fruitful meeting.
Thank you, Abdullah, for asking your question, and I think that is a question that a lot of us wanted to ask. So we are closing our meeting, our masterclass. So I just want to ask if Dr. Mora has one last thing that you really want to share with everyone here. And also, this session is recorded. We'll put it on YouTube so more people will also see it, and we'll also take some parts of this to put on our LinkedIn so we can reach more people. So what would be your final thing that you really want to tell to this generation or many young generations who are here? Over to Dr. Mora.
Yeah, I lost you for a second, Charlie. I didn't hear what you said.
So basically, I wonder if you have your last 1-2 sentences you want to share.
Yeah, thank you for that. I'm cutting my camera to improve the bandwidth. I have no idea why it's not working. Yeah, just to close, I just have to say that building a career in global health in any of our disciplines requires a lot of character, requires patience, persistence, requires connecting with people, with the right people at the right time, but also giving back, having in mind different ways how you can give back in your local community.
I cannot hear Dr. Mora now. So I guess we will close today's meeting. So thank you everyone for joining today. And if I could summarize Dr. Mora's wisdom from today, is that believe in yourself, advocate for yourself, believe what you're fighting for, find your community, be resilient, be resistant, go ask for help. Rally around people around you and message all the senior professionals you can get a hold of. Stay positive, be polite. Make it happen. Sooner or later, it will be. So yeah, thank you everyone for your time today, and I hope you will stay in touch with CGHI. Find us on LinkedIn, on Instagram, email us. We'll be in touch. We'll have many, many more masterclass free of charge, open to everyone. So please take care and see you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone.